Today, I want to ask you a question. What is the problem here in America? Why is everyone working so hard and still struggling to survive? Why does over 60% of the population work paycheck to paycheck, unable to afford a $500 emergency? Is there just not enough to go around in this country? Can we not produce enough food to feed the populace? Do we not have the materials and the workers needed to build housing for everyone? Does our healthcare system simply not have the resources to meet the needs of everyone? And most importantly, do billion-dollar corporations just not have the capital to pay their workers a living wage? Well, that's exactly what the billionaires who own this country want you to believe. They want you to think that immigrants are coming here and stealing up the scarce resources that we have so there isn't enough to go around for everyone. That the companies who have seen their profits increase year after year for decades, while life for the rest of us just gets harder and harder, somehow don't have the money to pay their workers fairly. The truth is, I can show you what's wrong with this country in one graph. This is it. Here it is. Many nefarious voices out there want you to think that economics are so complicated, and they are when you get into the details. But if you zoom out and look at things on a macro level, it really becomes very simple. An economy, very simply, is the system that determines how we distribute resources, how we decide who gets what. In any society, there is a finite, limited amount of resources to go around, so if a few billionaires at the top massively increase their share of those overall resources, there is less to go around for the rest of us. Now, when it comes to immigrants, on the other hand, it's totally different. For one, immigrants only own a tiny fraction of the overall wealth in this country, and more importantly, they actually create new resources with their labor. Overall, they produce far more for the economy than they consume. And on top of all that, study after study at this point has proven that immigrants are far less likely to commit crimes than natural-born citizens. They are a net benefit to our economy and society in virtually every way. Sorry, facts don't care about your racism. The truth is, this is the richest country in the history of the world. There is more than enough to go around for all of us. The democratic socialism of FDR and his New Deal policies of the 30s and 40s are what built the middle class. Never before in human history had there been a country where the average person had such a decent shot at a good life. But the elites and billionaires didn't like how much power the middle class had, so starting in the late 70s, they enacted a plan to rig the system and corrupt both sides of the government so that no matter who wins the elections, the corporations always win and we always lose. Slowly but surely, they completely legalized corruption, allowing them to control the government, and built a system that massively enriches them at the expense of everyone else. You see, while most Americans didn't even realize it, for the last 50 years, a war has been going on. A class war, and we lost. Rich people took all our resources, and now they are using our deep-seated racism and tribalist tendencies against us to make sure we are too busy fighting with each other, Republican versus Democrat, to realize that they are robbing us all blind. That is the problem with America.